Gymnasium. The Bulldogs come into this game led by head coach Dylan Howard, and on the other side of that, we have head coach Andre Payne of Mississippi Valley State. The A&M Bulldogs right now come into this game. They're tied for 7th in the conference. Josh and Jalen, what could be a big X factor for the Bulldogs to get the win here tonight?
Well, as much as we expect Andre Kennedy to have a great performance as well, you know, if I have to say a breakout star, somebody who's going to come up, is pretty much going to be either a Evan Wiley or a Jalen Reeder even. He may get hot tonight, and, you know, he is a sharp shooter. I mean, you know, he has that comparison of a Klay Thompson. He can get hot, and he don't have to dribble the ball at all. So he can be a Trey Todd. It can be even a Jerome Sism. So any of these players on this Bulldogs team can get hot tonight.
And I agree with Jalen, man. Like I said about the girls' game, man. I mean, this Bulldogs, they're great all around as a team. You never know who's gonna have a great game. You got Trey Todd, he's a big factor. Andre Kennedy, you got Brandon Miller, he's a great defensive player. So there's a lot of players on this team. So it's gonna be a sight to see tonight.
And A&M with the basketball right now, and here comes number 2, Brandon Miller, bringing the ball up the courts. Matchup number 2 of this doubleheader at home. The Bulldogs come into this game trying to improve their home record, looking amazing so far here at Elmore Gymnasium. They have not lost a SWAC home game all season long. As Trey Todd pumps once, gets the mid-range pull-up to work, and it's 2-0 early on in this game. And a bigger factor than that when it comes to playing at home, our Bulldogs have not lost a SWAC home game since March of 2018. So that goes to show you just how far along this program has come already in 1 year under head coach Howard.
Definitely. And, you know, going back to last year, you know, when the Bulldogs were still struggling a bit, when they played these Devils, they beat them here at Elmore Gymnasium 65-55. I mean, pretty much putting up big numbers, never having – the Devils' biggest lead was 6 points, and that was only in the first half. And then the Bulldogs took over. I mean, Julian Walters, Arthur Johnson combined for 27 points and 10 rebounds. Andre Kennedy, 8 points, 5 rebounds. Evan Riley, 7 points, 8 rebounds. So they can out-rebound this team, and they can play with this team at home.
And you're certainly right, Jalen. You talk about last year. I mean, coming off the last game, Andre Kennedy having a big game with a double-double. So I'm looking forward to see him do that tonight again.
And here we go. Miller brings the ball over. We have a foul on the court. I just got to highlight this real quick. Alexa Coracin. I think it's Alexa Coracin. I apologize for botching this man's name. This man is from Serbia. So can somebody please explain to me? I'm just a play-by-play commentator. How did they recruit somebody from Serbia?
Well, Reggie, that's an interesting question, Reggie. Hey, maybe he moved down here from the military or something.
What was the name again, man?
His name.
Because that was a hard name.
His name is Alexa Coracin.
Wow.
Coracin. Belgrade, Serbia.
I mean, you know, you have, it's not only great players in the U.S., man. It's great players overseas. So
nobody's disputing that. I'm just trying to understand, how did he end up at Mississippi Valley State? And that's not a knock to Valley State. But how do HBCUs get these random international players?
We're having an investigation case of a player from Serbia while a basketball game is being played right now. So we'll talk about that during the break.
I mean,
they like my lawyer not allowing me to display this information.
I apologize.
Reggie's been watching too much Alexander Shamara commercials.
Alexander Shamara, for all your Alexander Shamara needs.
Exactly. No, I mean, the Bulldogs right now jump up 4 points already. I mean, what is going to be the key for the Bulldogs to pull off a win tonight, guys?
I think it really starts with the supporting cast with Andre Kennedy. I mean, when you look at him and who he has around him, Trey Todd, Jalen Reeder. We also have Brandon Houston, Brandon Miller. You have Jerome Sism. We have a really good athletic team all around. And when you combine that with the sharpshooters of a Trey Titan and Jalen Reeder that we brought up at the end of the girls' game, then it highlights the good team that Andre Kennedy has around him. So this isn't just a one-man show. This is an all-around team effort, and we have really great role players across the board. So it's going to come down to our role players and what they can do to contribute here and there.
And you're right, Reggie. I mean, I'm going to go with the whole defensive game of this team. I mean, they never give up, and they always fight. They fight to the finish. But, you know, Andre Kennedy, he's coming off a tough game last game, man. Finished the game with four points. So I'm looking forward to him try to shake back and, you know, try to prove a lot of people wrong.
And here we go, Valley State with the basketball. Evans hands it off.
And we talk about Andre Kennedy struggling in his last performance, but, you know, with this team, they play hard on the road, but they play even harder at home. And so it's like you said when we was talking about when the girls was playing, you know, a win, you can carry off on a win. You know, you feel good, you're great, you know, you hit all your shots, you hit all the perimeters that you needed to do. But it's all about how you approach the next game. What is your mindset? Because you can shoot 5 threes in one quarter, in one half, but let's say you don't do it the next half, I mean, in that game, the way you did in the first game. So you have to change, you have to adjust, and just work to your strengths.
And that was an easy dunk for Cora Chin, and it's now 4-3. Bulldogs lead the Devils, the Delta Devils.
There go that little Serbia you wanted to see, man, with the big finish, man. I mean, you know, there's a lot of tough players like you know, have the Mavericks. They have a lot of players from overseas, and, you know, so it's great to have and recruit international players.
Definitely. And I think how the Bulldogs can stop him is just play their game and hustle, because you'd be surprised how far that can carry you.
And Tarico Simmons knocks down the three to make it 6-4 for Valley State. I think for us it's going to be, let's just play physical. Let's rough him up. Let's see if he can take a hit. But I think Mississippi Valley State wants us to think that. I think they're going to really rely on everyone else around him, especially players like Gregory Jones-Rollins and Dante Scott, 11 points and 10 points per game each. They're going to have us think, okay, they're just going to go to him all the time in the low post. No, they want us to think that. We just got to play all around and defend our man each time up and down the court and not worry about trying to play zone and trying to double him up every single time.
So what would be how would you strategize to defend Corchin?
Like I said early on, rough him up a bit, see how strong he is and see how physical he is in the low post. Test him out like what we saw just now with Andre Kennedy. See what he can do early on and then exploit the weaknesses, but also make sure you still keep a good defensive presence on everyone else so it doesn't keep your mind just focused on him. As Miller will get the ball off the court for A&M, it's now 8-8 as Valley State makes the last bucket.
And you see, to me, when guarding, I think I would just, you know, put some strength on him, of course, but also just try to see what he can do. Force him to be athletic, you know, try to get him to squeeze through tight places in order to make the basket.
Well, early on, A&M and Valley State, they're tied at 8 apiece. Dylan Howard's looking to get another win here at home. We'll be back with you in just a little bit.
Yo.
Doubleheader here at Elmore Gym. And right now, Valley State, they have the ball right now looking to try and get a 10-8 lead or even an 11-8 lead here on this next offensive possession.
And, you know, just like what we was talking before the break, you know, guarding Corson, you wanted to force him to be athletic. I mean, Andre Kennedy being guarded by Corson, he used his athleticism to get to the he used his athleticism to score. So you want to force that on him. But also, you know, he might just be the distraction from these other players that we see, from Dante Scott to Rico Simmons. So if anything, the Bulldogs just need to hustle and play their game.
Trey Todd with the basketball. Reeder takes the screen. So on the court right now for A&M, Brandon Houston, Walter Jones Jr., Jalen Reeder, Trey Todd, and Brandon Miller, the lone starter from the opening unit that's still there on the court. And the shot is good for Miller, and it's now a 10-8 game. The mid-range pull-up, a thing of beauty, and it's now a early lead for the Bulldogs. Let's see if they can build on this momentum.
I mean, we go back talking about Carson, man. I mean, for him to be being the bigger defender, Andre Kennedy, he's going to have to work down there, man. But, you know, they're looking to run a more ISO game down low. Andre Kennedy having a great time ISOing and, you know, doing a great move to score the basket.
You know, and with sports, with just team sports regardless, you always want to set the tone. You always want to try to intimidate your opponent. And, you know, we think the Devils are trying to intimidate and pretty much set the tone with their center, but also with their athleticism and their fast-paced play. But the Bulldogs can set the tone even better by just continuing to score and not being affected by it. I mean, right now it's only a 2-point lead, but the Bulldogs are up. And if you play great, then that's scary. And Jalen Reeder with the three, the sharpshooter himself, I mean, that's what I'm talking about. You have to set the tone early in the game and let them know that you're not going to be unraveled, you're not going to be bothered.
And the layup is good for Jordan Evans, and it's now 13-10. So we'll see if A&M will push the pace and go up tempo, or are they going to slow it down? And right now the Bulldogs looking to build on their momentum. Like we said before, they have not lost a SWAC game at home since March of last year. Looking to build on that as Dylan Howard, a great recruiter, is going to use this season to bring in some more recruits to help build this unit for next year. As the shot is no good, but we have a foul on the court, and that will send number 32, Caleb Allison, to the free throw line. And we have a timeout on the court with 11:31 to go in the first half. 13-10, A&M leads early on. At the free throw line right now, Caleb Allison, who was just fouled on the last possession before the timeout called on the court. First free throw attempt is no good.
And back to what we were talking about just during the break, I noticed Coach Dylan Howard, I did not see him with the jacket on. I did not. You know, I would love to play for Dylan Howard because he shows so much emotion just for the game. And I really feel like when the game started, he took his jacket and I was like, all right, let's go to work. Like, I don't need his jacket. I don't need his jacket. His jacket makes him feel uncomfortable. And, like, that's what I would like in my coach. You know, I want somebody who's going to yell, who's going to be walking up and down the floor and just, you can see his emotion.
Okay, so hold on. Hold on. I would want to play for Coach Dylan Howard, too, if I was good at basketball. But a jacket? What does this have to do with a jacket?
Hey, it's just something little I noticed. Just like with your colors and all this other stuff. It's something I noticed, okay? I've never noticed him with a jacket on. He takes the jacket off. He's walking down the floor. And, I mean, we talked about this last home game against Alcorn State. He was running up and down the court. I mean, he was just calling out plays. He was talking to his team. I mean, he's a very just – he plays the game with emotion, and, you know, he's just wants execution.
I mean, I agree with you saying, Jay. I mean, I guess he feels like if his team got to sweat, he's sweating too.
Exactly.
So is the equivalent of Dylan Howard taking off his jacket Hulk Hogan with the shirt?
Pretty much, because I never see the jacket, especially when we win, too. I never see him put the jacket back on.
Brandon Miller with the basketball. Jones Jr. sets the screen. Trying to run the offense down low to Brandon Houston. Houston posting up, going down low. The beautiful bounce pass, but it's tipped out of bounds. Reeder couldn't get the handle on it, and Valley State gets the possession right back.
Well, speaking of Brandon Houston, I mean, last game he coming off a great game, coming off the game with 15 points. So he does a great job contributing to his team.
This is true. And, you know, we were discussing this before the game, guys. Just, you know, when you built this team, I mean, we all know that, you know, Andre Kennedy is the lead catalyst for this team. We all know that, you know, they play around him. How he's playing is how everybody else will playing. And if he's not contributing to points, but he's contributing somewhere else, the team will gather around him and they will put on a performance themselves. So what would you do to build around? I mean, because we talked about the girls, you know, they have a great backcourt, but their front court has gotten better. What about the guys?
I think for the guys, it's being more consistent. As Jalen Reeder, the three, money, and there you go. Consistency is key. Jalen Reeder for the three. It's all about consistency. It's all about just consistent performance. Just find the open man, playing consistent defense, playing consistent offense. Don't let anything rattle you, and just do everything the easy way. The open shot for Jalen Reeder, you knew he was going to take it and make it. He was wide open. It doesn't make sense to pass up a great look like that, and that's exactly what he did, and we're up 16-13 because of it.
Definitely. You know, Jalen Reeder, he wears the number 0, but, you know, when he scores the ball, it's not an even number. It's an odd number. You guys knew that?
Jalen, where are you trying to go with this?
I'm saying, man, Jalen Reeder, he shoots the threes. He performs better. I mean, he's a sharp shooter. Threes are his bread and butter.
And, hey, y'all got the same name, so you might learn it from you.
Oh, my goodness.
I was more of a football and track player, so.
Oh, my goodness. Driving is Evans. Foul called on the play. He tried to drive on Brandon Wright of A&M, but Wright will commit the foul.
You know, Jalen, we're going back to talking about when we was talking about Andre Kennedy and how he produced for this team and how he leads his team. You know, I think it's another player, you know, kind of close to him. Got Jerron Silsum in his face-up game and how he plays the game. So, I mean, there's a lot of players that can lead this team and be a leader. But Andre Kennedy, he's the more, you know, confident player of this team.
Definitely. I mean, Jerron Silsum, 15 points against Alcorn State last time at Elmore Gymnasium. I mean, when it's time to put that dagger, he is the one to put it, especially with those dunks that he do.
Here's an interesting fact for you. Speaking of Valley State, now when it comes to momentum right now, A&M, they had a little shaky, you know, rough patch against Texas Southern and Prairie View A&M. So they're going to come back home. They got the momentum because, you know, they can win against anybody at home.
Oh, yeah, that was that Texas two-step you kept on saying, right?
There you go. But with Valley State, they have not won a game since they beat us in Mississippi in January. January 12th was the last time Valley State's won a game.
Well, you know, throughout the season, there's going to be times that you're going to be challenged. So you lose to a team, and especially at their own home, you don't think it's a big deal. But when the game plan is we know we can beat this team, and then the outcome is we got thrashed by this team, it pretty much kind of changes. It decreases the momentum, and, you know, you're looking for answers instead of asking the real questions, who we are as a team and how can we adjust. And, you know, when you look at the Bulldogs, they have lost, but they have perfected their record compared to last year. And they've been asking the right questions now to get the answers they need instead of just looking for answers to questions they do not know or do not know how to even ask.
Okay.
Listen, this is a philosophy game. You have to strategize and you have to look at it. And when it's time and it's the final seconds and you're down by 1, all we need is a shot for you to win this game and we can go home, and you make that shot, then you're great. I mean, just look at a Robert Ory type, you know, known for clutch shots. Not known for regular season games, but known for clutch shots in the postseason.
Well, 19-17. Trey Todd hits the three to get the Bulldogs up by 2. 7:51 to go in the first half. We're back with you in just a second. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, 19-17, A&M leads Mississippi Valley State right now. The Bulldogs looking to improve to 4-6 in the SWAC and quite possibly improve to officially gain the number 7 spot in the conference. They're tied for 7th as we speak. So this game is very critical to both teams. On the Valley State side, they're looking to improve and possibly get the 8 seed and secure that final spot in the SWAC tournament. And we highlighted this in the last few games where in the SWAC tournament, the lower seeds, the 7 seeds, the 8 seeds for both the men and women have gone on to upset the 1s and 2s that year. So we could be those dark horse teams. As Trey Todd mentioned another 3, and that player is my X factor. Trey Todd, 36% from the three-point line this season. A corner 3 taker and maker. He can also shoot it from top of the key, but he is automatic from the corners, no matter what side.
I mean, he's playing great. I mean, guys, guess what his number is? The number 3.
What is it with you in the number 3? The Holy Trinity?
He can make threes, baby.
Trey Todd again. This time no good. Rebounded. Reader puts it up.
And with
one.
the foul. Great. I mean, great shot by Jalen Reader. You know, when you're being taught how to play the game of basketball, when you shoot it and the ball comes back to your direction, that means you're getting close. That shows a sign of improvement. And just what a great hustle from Jalen Reader to put the putback in.
And great positioning and footwork. 27-17 with the end won by Jalen Reader. We'll be back with you in a second.
Trey Todd and Jalen Reed, they have an amazing game, man. I mean, Trey Todd as a player, he's great on the defensive side and offensive side, and he's got an amazing jump shot, man. He can shoot from anywhere on the three-point line.
Trey Todd to me is the definition of a 3-and-D player. He gives you great three-point shooting and also great defense as well to complement. As it's another defensive stop for A&M with 6:27 to go in the first quarter. I mean, in the first half.
I mean, not just only just on the defensive side and a great offensive player, but he's a momentum booster. Like, he helps the team get back into the game with big shots.
Not just a momentum booster, but he also swings the momentum as well. I mean, when we talk about Trey Todd, there have been so many games where you need a big-time 3, and he's the one that makes that 3 for you, especially from the corners. Practically automatic, kind of Ray Allen-esque, if you would say, to a lesser degree. Ray Allen, more likely than not, if I had to give him a true comparison. And he, once again, stepping up tonight with a couple of big 3s early on.
Well, a nice hard foul. Well, when we look at Trey Todd and just how he plays the game of basketball, I mean, it's calm, it's relaxed. You know, it's hard to say that about a basketball player. You know, I mean, he shows emotion, but his game is just so relaxed. It's so smooth, but there's another word. It's so disciplined. There we go. It's so disciplined, and that he doesn't overreact. He makes the shots that he wants, that he needs to make in that situation, and only a few basketball players know how to do that. I mean, he doesn't play wild. He doesn't play out of control. When he gets a fast break, he looks everywhere while still running, even though it's open for him to just lay up the ball.
I mean, I totally agree, Jalen. I mean, if you look at his game, man, how Dallin Howard uses him, man. I mean, he runs on the offensive side. He runs around a lot of picks, kind of like Steph Curry, you know, coming off pick, taking the big threes and knocking them down. So, I mean, he's a great player, man.
Definitely. Great turnover for the Bulldogs. I mean, Sism and Evan Riley doing their impersonation of crisscross jump.
Okay. I'll roll with it. Wiley for the three and money from the corner. 30-17. The Bulldogs have an early 13-point lead over Mississippi Valley State.
Hey, did you guys get y'all invitation to this three party we having right now? Because, I mean, everybody's just shooting threes right now. So, I mean, you better, anybody, y'all want to get down here for the three party, you better hurry up and come because it might run out by the time you get here. So you don't make it too late. I mean, that's what we're seeing from these Bulldogs right now. Just three-pointers all around.
And I totally agree, Jalen. I mean, they're on fire from the three-point line. Jalen Reeders knocked three down. Evan Wiley, Trey Todd. They would knock the shots down from everywhere, man.
Definitely. And I'm sorry that was a weird / terrible analogy, Reggie. But, I mean, this is what we're seeing right now from these guys.
Trey Todd gets the rebound. I'm not going to hold you against it. Over. Wiley for the three again. This time off the mark. Sism can't get in position and get the rebound. Valley State in transition.
Oh, it's good. He'll get that back.
Hop step to the floater. No good for Dante Scott. Rebounded by Emmanuel EJ. And it's now 30-22 early on in this contest. Brandon Miller with the basketball. Passes it up to Trey Todd. Trying to find the open man. Download a Sism over Reeder. Corner three wide open. Off the mark. And the ball go out of bounds. So we have a quick timeout on the court right now. 30-22, A&M leads Mississippi Valley State. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Elmore Gymnasium. Bulldogs lead the Delta Devils 30-22. Off the mark floater. And that's Wiley with the rebound. So A&M right now playing good, controlling the tempo, controlling the clock, playing slow it down fundamental basketball, making sure Valley State does not have a chance to come back into this game. But it's just an 8-point lead for the Bulldogs. So if you're Valley State, what do you do to try to come back into this game? Who do you go after first?
You got to out-hustle them, and instead of going for Andre Kennedy, you have to go against the person who's going to have the ball the most. And so as we see, the ball goes to Jalen Reeder and Trey Todd if it doesn't go to Andre Kennedy. So you got to be able to try to stop them from making easy passes. You got to force them to make every pass as hard as possible so that way that can mess up the momentum and kind of change and decrease the way they shoot the ball.
Mississippi Valley, they need to do a better job of tightening their defense. They're letting a lot of three-pointers get knocked down, man, and it's hurting them. And them shooting great from the three-point line, so they need to do a better job of containing the three.
Exactly. You know, they're running the ball, and it's kind of like the Harlem Globetrotters and the Washington Generals. They just keep throwing the ball, and then all of a sudden they just shoot a three. I mean, all we need is just the music now. But if you go, the answer to the question is pretty much you can play tight defense all you want, but you have to change the way they're going to pass the ball, because you get when you play the game of basketball, you get that pass, that nice pass that can better your chances to shooting the ball and getting it in. I mean, it's tremendous, and so you have to change the way how they're going to pass the ball.
In transition, after the steal, we have a foul on the court, and that will send to the free throw line Mississippi Valley State's Gregory Jones-Rollins. Jones-Rollins averaging 11 points per game so far in SWAC play, putting up 29% from the three. His team in points per game scored. First free throw attempt is good. And that now cuts the deficit down to 7. Coming back into the game is Jalen Reeder in place of Walter Jones Jr. Second free throw attempt now for Jones-Rollins.
And, you know, we talk about how the Devils can bring back this lead against the Bulldogs, but what can the Bulldogs do to continue to maintain this lead against the Devils?
I think what A&M's going to have to do is simply put up the open shots like you've been doing. You're attacking this defense in all the right ways. Just continue to find the open man, and the shots will knock down. And now that you have confidence in your shots because you feel open, you feel more confident, you don't feel pressure to try and force anything up, you're going to eventually put this team away.
I think A&M doing a great job of moving the ball. So they keep moving the ball, taking the smart shots, and mostly playing great defense. I mean, they can come out with a win tonight.
Definitely. I mean, I would say do not fall in love with the three, but we've seen that whether they make or miss, they shoot the three because they're open. There's no defender on them. So I would have to go with plan B, and I would have to say you have to pretty much just keep getting them out of their game, make great easy shots in that mid-range form, and that way that can benefit for you. And it seems like, Evan, we got another invitation to the three-point party. And it seems like Evan Riley is hosting his own block party right now.
Miller with the basketball so far. Evan Wiley, that's another three-pointer made for him to go along with that block.
Hey, it's Saturday. It's Saturday, Josh, okay? You know everybody wants to party on Saturday. Don't look at me.
Look, as Reeder goes in, misses the drive out through. I thought he was fouled for a second.
It looked like it.
And spin made by Michael Green. Almost had the turnover. He'll pull up a three. No good off the front rim. Rebounded, but the possession will go to A&M.
Like it was an over-the-back foul.
That's on Mississippi Valley's number 10, Emmanuel Ejak.
A&M leading by 9 early, and there's head coach Dylan Howard.
Look
this time
emotion.
Without the jacket.
Look at that emotion. Look at how he is walking up and down. See, listen, that's attitude. That's commitment. That's commitment to your team. And then look how the team plays. They buy into what he is saying.
Well, right now they have an early 9-point lead, and so far what he's saying, it's working. Houston sets the screen for Miller, back over to Wiley. Houston posting up. Puts up the low post shot, can't get it to go.
Not enough range on that shot.
Posting up now is Korchin. Passes it down low, and it's stolen by A&M.
And as you just said, Reggie, I just noticed they put him back in the game. He started in the game, but he'd only played 3-4 minutes before being taken out.
Injury concerns, maybe, I don't know. Miller will drive over to Houston, and the beautiful offensive passes that we just saw just now tipped at the rim with the floater from Brandon Houston, but band one will go for Valley State, and it's now 33-26.
Number 25, Gregory Jones-Rollins. He's fouled on play by
and just like any game, any team that comes to Elmore Gymnasium, our house of Bulldog Nation, I mean, you can just see from the players already, this is a tough battle. All players are fatigued, and you know, that's when conditioning kicks in, and it's all about who is committed, who is willing to go the extra mile to try to make a play for their team.
But when you're putting up a lot of threes and playing committed defense, it's going to take a lot out of you. So we'll see what A&M can do to respond. Through the legs, Miller with the basketball, crossover, trying to waste clock.
And great handling skills.
Here we go. Yes, Goldborn moving around. First time Goldborn seen action here tonight. Miller holds on to it, over, gives it off to Goldborn. Goldborn will drive. back. Miller, the three, no good. And that will close out the first half of play as Mississippi Valley State trails Alabama A&M 33-27. And Andre Kennedy, he has his team around him has done really well tonight, from Trey Todd, Brandon Miller, and Jalen Reeder making threes all night long. We'll be back with you for the second half in just a moment. Really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have about 3 minutes to go until the guys can start the second half of play, but we're here with head coach Margaret Richards. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm good.
You're good.
Yes.
So we're glad to have you with us here talking to us about the Lady Bulldogs. So I want to start out by asking Natalie Collins, I've noticed she has tape on her hand. How is the injury healing up as of late?
I mean, she still has some pain here and there, but she's doing pretty well. It's healing. It's going to take some time, but it is healing. She's out there competing and playing hard, and, you know, she's a very smart player, so we're able to use her when we can.
All right.
Yeah. And my question would be, you know, we talked about this during the game, whether you should start Alexis Evans or not, but she's a freshman. But I want to know, do you see the impact and just how she can change the momentum of the game?
Yes, we do. I mean, when she comes to play, she is a relentless rebounder, and her timing is very well. So she has a very soft touch around the basket. She can shoot the 12-footer. She can finish. She got the hook shot. She can finish around the goal. So she does a lot for us tonight. You know, as you see, she played 17 minutes and got 8 and 8. You know, she got some really huge rebounds at the end of the game, which was great.
Gotcha. And another one just for me. I see how your front court is looking. Your front court is getting better. I mean, and as of course to your recruiting. I mean, what do you look for in recruiting, and what do you tell these players when they come to Alabama A&M?
Well, we try to look for kids that's going to be team players, kids that work hard, come from good programs, that's winners. Because, you know, of course, when we took over, you know, we took over a program that didn't win a lot. So it's very important believing that you can win and always being a winner. And basically, kids that can, you know, play within the system, because I like to play inside out, you know, because I think if you play inside out, you open up the floor. So our young ladies, you know, Ashlyn, Lex, Leisha, and Lucy, you know, they can rebound the ball and they post really hard. And when they're scoring the basketball, it's really hard to stop us.
Go ahead, Rich.
So, real quick, now at home, we are a great team at home. But on the road, our team has struggled. We're coming from Texas, going up against Texas Southern and Prairie View. So do you think by the time the SWAC tournament comes and it's a first-round matchup and you're on the road, do you feel a little bit worried knowing that you're not a great road team at times?
No, I actually think it's the opposite. I mean, I don't think we've been that great at home either. So I think at the end of the day, if this team come together and we're focused for 40 minutes, I feel like we can win on the road or away. So I'll be confident either way.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Richards.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just saw our interview just now with head coach Margaret Richards. She feels really good about this team. She knows the struggles that the Lady Bulldogs have had this season. She feels good about Natalie Collins, however, and how her healing process is coming along with her hand. Of course, recruiting in the front court as well and how that's been going really well. You talked about her, you know, recruiting and how she likes the inside-out game. Going in first, opens up the three-point shot later on. And, you know, her philosophy so far has really worked out well for the past 3 seasons and leading into this season now.
Definitely. You know, when she talked about her recruiting, she talked about just getting kids that want to play team basketball. I mean, that's what we see from these Lady Bulldogs. They play a team basketball. One person is not the key player, is not the highlight reel. You know, they all play together, and whoever's hot that night, you know, they take over.
Well, you know, I really respect the fact that she recruits players that play team-oriented basketball, because you see players like Lauren McKee, game high 11 last time out. You know, Nigeria Jones, she put up 22 for a game high, 18 for a game high. Dotson put up 16 for a game high one time. You see all different types of players come through, and they just play their style, and it leads to team wins, and it leads to them inching closer and closer to a potential SWAC title.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree, Reg. I mean, they play well as a team. Like since last year, they played very well and grow as a team, and as players, you know, leading each other to win each game.
And we have a foul on the court.
Definitely. You know, it was great just talking, just that quick conversation with Coach Richards. I really want to interview Coach Howard. I want to interview him. My first question is going to be, you know what? Do you wear jackets? And just, you are so enthusiastic on the court. I mean, just, you know, you're so committed. Your players drive off that. I mean, just where do you get that from?
I want to know how many suits does he go through in a week. I'm curious. Because every single time he comes out, this time he has the pink tie. You got on, what is that, navy or is that black? I think that's a dark gray from our angle. I don't know. Every single time he has on the black shoes, you know, the brown shoes, the tan shoes, the white shoes sometimes, you know. He wore sneakers last time out at home. I mean, this guy, he comes, every game he comes, you know, prepared. I got this. I got my suit jacket, my tie. I'm ready to go. We're here. 2 minutes into the game, jacket's off. All right, let's get to it. What's up?
2 minutes. Hey, the game started, I didn't see no jacket
No
whatsoever.
jacket. No jacket.
But I mean, hey, he is enthusiastic. I mean, you know, he loves his players, and you know, they play like they want. They play so they can win for him. You know, they play for him and they play for us as Bulldog Nation. So I mean, you know, it's just a great combination. And this is only his first year, guys. So just think of what's to come in the later seasons down the line.
You're right. I totally agree, Jayla. I mean, the way he carried this team, you know, try to coach this team is very entertaining, man. I mean, these Bulldogs come in here day and night out, man. They play their heart out. They play they sweat, blood, sweat, and tears. And the coach do the same by coaching. So, you know, you can tell the chemistry that he got with his team.
Definitely. It is a battle, and you know, not kidding about the blood. I mean, we have seen sometimes when there's been a collision or something ridiculous that has happened that has caused for damage on a person's body. But I mean, you know, these Bulldogs play hard and tough against their opponents. I mean, that's what you get when you come here to the Elmore Gymnasium. I mean, a Bulldog, you know, got that bark, it got that grit, you know, it fights back. And that's what we do as a team and as a nation. We fight back against anybody who goes against us. And, you know, just looking at that from what we see from these Bulldogs day in and day out, it just works for them. That's our style of game.
And here we go, A&M, they're trying to get Trey Todd wide open. Trey Todd won't pull for the jump shot just yet. Back to Reeder, trying to run the floor, trying to find the open man. Miller gets in, and it's a beautiful follow through.
Let me tell you something. He drove that so clean that there was cones everywhere, and he did not knock down one. Now that's ball handling 101.
You're talking about him like he's a car.
Hey, that's ball handling 101. That's what you got to do in the paint, okay? It ain't always about shooting threes. It's about going inside the paint and dribbling.
I mean, there's a great drive by Brandon Miller, man. I mean, great Euro step to the basket, man.
Reeder with the rebound now off the Valley State miss.
Exactly. See, Josh gets it.
Wiley for the three. No good. Rebounded by Valley State. Now they run in transition.
But don't worry, that three party is still on, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not stopping until this game is over with.
Evans is going to reset down low. The pass was on point, but it's no good for Emmanuel EJ.
That is great hustle from the Bulldogs.
And it's another timeout on the court. A&M leads Valley State 37-33 here to kick off the second half of play at Elmore Gymnasium.
Before the break, man, I wanted to talk about how the hustle this team has, man. And Jerron Silsum, he fought for the ball, you know, hustling, dove for the ball on the ground. So, what y'all guys think about this A&M team, man? Like, what brings this team out the most?
Where there's key moments, and this is how you define.
No car references.
No, not right now. But there's moments when you look at a team and you automatically see, okay, they're playing to win. They're not playing to lose. They're giving it all they got. And just like the previous possession, we thought the ball was going in, but it went down, and you saw Jalen Reeder still coming back for that ball, Sism coming back for that ball, and that just shows determination and hustle. You do not stop even when you think it's not going to go your way. You have to keep driving, and no car reference, but that's what we look at in these Bulldogs. They play to win. They don't play to lose. And the more you see that and the more they act as a unit playing like that style, then they can come up, and just in the later seasons, later on this season, it's going to show even more. And, I mean, that's why they have 4 wins. That's why they have better wins now than they have in the past 3-4 years.
Well, you know, for me, I look at Coach Dylan Howard and the recruiting that he's made and the people that he's put in positions to win. When you're a head coach, your goal is to put your players in the best position to win. That's your ultimate goal, is to put your players in a position to win, a position to succeed. If you know the plays that you're running, that you want your players to call out there on the court aren't working, and you're still going to keep doing it, then that's you being a bad leader. But Coach Howard has figured out where who can go, where which players can play at certain parts of the court. He knows Trey Todd is a strong corner three-point shooter, so he's going to call for screens to have him get open at the corners. He knows Jalen Reeder, he's tall, he can create his own shots. He's going to call plays for him to get open in the mid-range. Ron Sism, good low post footwork, have him stay in the low post. Walter Jones Jr., same thing, he's tall, but he can shoot. He calls up plays, he puts a system in place for his players to succeed, like right there with Jalen Reeder. It's that simple.
There's players wanting to win. I mean, I remember I was in middle school. High school, I played football. I played football all my life, but I played basketball for a bit in middle school, and I remember we was practicing, and there was only a few kids that really wanted to play, really wanted to win. Everybody else thinking they was an all-star already, thinking they was, you know, they were their own man. Of course, you know, it's middle schoolers. But the coach blew a whistle, and he said, you know what? All y'all get off the bench, all y'all get off the court, except for those 3 players. Y'all can keep playing because y'all playing like a team, and everybody else is not. And that's what you see in these Alabama A&M Bulldogs. They play as a team. It's not just a one-man show. We can talk about Andre Kennedy all we want, and he is a terrific player, and he helps this team. But Brandon Miller right now is leading this game with the scorage of 10 points. I mean, you have good shots from Jalen Reeder. You have Trey Todd. You have Jerome Sism, all who are contributing. And so that's what really just shows just the unity of our team.
And we have a foul on the court right now, and as you said, A&M, they love playing for Coach Howard. You can tell by the way they play on the court, the hustle that they bring, and the desire that they play with. You know they play for this man right here. And we have a little bit of a stoppage on the court right now, trying to make sure the court is ready to go and suitable for play. 45-36, A&M leads Valley State with 13:50 to go in the game.
Definitely. You know, it's important that they make sure that the floor is clear and everything, because if not, it's a game of slip and slide, fellas.
I just want to do this. I have to do it. I just want to clear up what I said.
Is this sad that I'm really scared right now?
I want to clear up what I said during the girls' game. I'm not, y'all, see, Jalen Red's been bashing me ever since I made that comment. I'm not saying that, WNBA is bad or anything. It's just my opinion. I prefer to be in person to watch the game. If that sounds better.
Definitely. I mean, if somebody gave you tickets, or if the tickets were at a good price, you'll buy them and watch the game.
Right.
Yeah, nothing about that.
And Walter Jones Jr. gets a tough finish at the rim to make it 47-36.
No,
I got nothing to say to it. I got nothing. I'm just. Let's see what Coach Howard has drawn up here for his Bulldogs team.
You know, guys, throughout the conversations that we've been having, 47-36, these Bulldogs have been playing tremendous, great basketball. I mean, just the three parties that we've been seeing, but also just toning it down and not pretty much blowing the lead away.
Well, right now they're playing fundamentals. They're doing what they have to do. Find the open man, making good passes, and that lead, and that's really contributed to them having this 11-point lead and having the lead for most of the game.
Definitely, and Walter Jones Jr. just great hustle. It looks like he was about to do a great behind-the-back pass, pistol Pete Maverick, and Andre Kennedy was about to score. The rebound gets back to the Devils. Jones Jr. gets back up and try to get the ball. I mean, that's hustle right there.
Going back to what you said, man. I mean, the A&M Bulldogs, they've been playing a great game tonight. Great on the defensive side and offensive side. You know, they're doing a great job swinging the ball and taking the open shots.
Here we go. Trey Todd gets the screen from Kennedy. He's going to come around it, pull up, jump shot. Great pass down low as Kennedy sets his feet, but a travel is called against Andre. So the Delta Devils will get the ball right back.
And Bulldogs trying to do a pick and roll sequence. Not working out that time.
Tonight is Think Pink Night, so if you see a lot of pink in the crowd, it's our support for breast cancer awareness. And also on February 12th, 2019, this year, at 12:30 p.m., Dr. Bernice A. King will be here talking to us, talking to the students of the faculty in honor of Black History Month here for all HBCUs. And right now, we have a little bit of a stoppage here on the courts. And on the court right now for Dylan Howard, we have Trey Todd, Jones Jr., Brandon Miller. We have Jalen Reeder and Andre Kennedy, the same five he came out the timeout with.
You know, in reference of the NBA draft we was doing earlier today, let's just say we had a chance to pick somebody from this Bulldog team. Who are you picking first and why?
Oh, man. I think it's the obvious answer.
Kennedy?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I disagree with that, man.
Who are you picking?
Me personally, I'll take Jalen Reeder.
Jalen Reeder.
I mean, I'm not saying Andre Kennedy, he's the leader of this team, but I just like Jalen Game.
That's my small forward. That's my power forward out there.
But Jalen is a shot creator.
Yeah, I see it. I got you.
So definitely. I guess we're all gonna be in the difference because I would choose Trey Todd because he can bring out the ball, but he can open up shots for other teammates, and you know that's very important just for a basketball team and a player who can just benefit you by playing unselfish basketball and allow you to get touches, allow you to get shots, allow you to be a difference in the game. That's even better for a basketball team.
And I totally agree with Jalen, man. I mean, Trey Todd, he's a great defensive player, great offensive player, and he never stopped going, man. He like a
Underrated 3-and-D player. Underrated 3-and-D player.
what he said.
Miller with the basketball. Reeder at the corner. Kennedy sets the screen. Down low to Kennedy. Sizing up. He's going to drive. Turn around. Fade away. Off the front rim.
Just need a little bit more power to it.
And almost lost his possession. Nearly a turnover by Valley State. And we have a foul on the court yet again. And on the court right now, Walter Jones Jr. has subbed in.
Wait. Was that a foul on us?
I'm not certain.
Apparently it was.
It was.
Kennedy was falling down. Okay.
Well, we have a timeout on the court. 49-37. A&M leads Mississippi Valley State. And here we are coming out of a timeout on the court. A&M right now leading by 12. They're trying to go for the clean sweep here this evening. The Lady Bulldogs defeated the Devilettes earlier this evening, 78-70. And the men are looking to do the same as well to hold up their end of the bargain.
Well, right now, and just in this second half, the Bulldogs have the momentum, and they pretty much have the keys in their hand to drive to this win. Another car reference.
You got it.
Thank you, sir.
Turnaround, fadeaway, no good. Kennedy with the rebound, and Miller comes in transition. Running point right now on the court for A&M is Brandon Miller, Jalen Reeder, Evan Wiley, Andre Kennedy, and Trey Todd. Wiley wants the screen for him, so he'll get the pass instead. Trying to help out his teammate just now as Trey Todd will get the basketball. Screen set from Kennedy. Todd pull up mid-range. And it looks like we have an illegal screen maybe. Oh no. It is a foul against Mississippi Valley State. And Trey Todd will inbound for the Bulldogs. Trey Todd averaging 36% from the three-point line this season. Miller trying to drive. A lot of contact. No foul.
Referee said it was clean.
Okay. Well, despite that, Andre Kennedy was able to tip the pass by Valley State to keep them from finishing in transition, so good court awareness there. Corner three, money for number 15 of Mississippi Valley State, Michael Green.
And speaking of which, if I'm the Bulldogs, I think I'll try to set up plays to where I can get Jalen Reeder somewhere on the corner and get him an open shot for the threes, because, I mean, he has a great three-point percentage right now in this game.
Andre Kennedy gets the turnaround layup to go. They've been drawing up a lot of plays to get not just Reeder, but Trey Todd and even Evan Wiley when he's on the court open at times. So maybe Coach Howard will somehow mentally listen to you. You know.
Not only is Jalen Reeder having a great game from the three-point line, they're having a great game from the three-point line overall. They're shooting 52% from three-point line.
And that's a great three-point percentage game for these Bulldogs. And, I mean, that's just in case that the Devils come back by 2 or 3 points. You know, you want to try to change the way of how you're playing the game. But, I mean, Andre Kennedy, that mid-range. And you see Evan Wiley for that three miss. But, you know, there's certain things that, you know, you have to change during transitions. You know, they play in the mid-range, but if it's not working and you see the Devils coming back up, you have to kind of re-strategize and see what else you can pull up in your bag of tricks.
Well, let's see what A&M will do differently on this possession as Reeder has the basketball now over to Miller. Kennedy's trying to post up. Last possession, you have to turn around layup to go for him, but it's a turnover in transition. And it's the turn. The ball saved, doesn't go out of bounds.
And you talk about that is Bulldog Hustle 101.
And Andre Kennedy with the beautiful save. Oh, boy.
And that's that great hustle and never give up attitude I was talking about earlier.
Well, that's timeout for you. 51-43. We'll be back with you in a minute. Here we go. Reeder will inbound for the Bulldogs right now. And here comes Brandon Miller bringing the ball up the court. Miller's going to drive over Trey Todd for the three. He won't go for the three. He'll drive inside. Knowing his court awareness and his court vision. Playing smart basketball.
And great athleticism from Trey Todd. I mean, in the air. You know you have great athleticism when you're still in the air and you think twice about should I shoot it or should I pass it, and you're looking back every way around.
And that's that quickness of Trey Todd, man. I mean, you talking about how he can change the shot in the air. I mean, he's a great acrobat player, man. It's crazy.
That it is. And just, you know, we talk about front courts and back courts. I mean, which side do you think the Bulldogs rely on the most?
I think it's more so of the backcourt. I think they need the backcourt to play clean basketball and make those clean passes down low to Kennedy and Sism, just to name a few, and Brandon Houston to be able to have an efficient offense. When you make those clean, easy passes, because they have a lot of guards on this team, it makes things easier on everybody.
That's true. And, you know, I think the front court, they always show up. But when it's time to end all the hoopla and just say, okay, we're about to just beat this team down, they come in the clutch. I mean, we see that from Sism and Kennedy all the time, especially in the last two home games.
And it's another timeout on the floor. Valley State commits the turnover to A&M. So 51-43 with 7:38 to go in the game. Let's see if the Bulldogs can close it out and get another win at home. Elmore Gymnasium is packed out right now. The student section is completely full. The bleachers are full. The A&M faithful are out. But also we see some Valley State green and red. We see some Valley State green and red a little bit, you know. They're showing their supporters every single time, you know. A&M hosts a different swag team. You see the opposing team's colors come through. In a decent variety.
It's a blend.
A blend, a trend, you know, nothing major. Inbounding for A&M is Trey Todd on the court right now. We have him, Garon Sism, Brandon Miller. We have Brandon Wright and Jalen Reeder. And the fouls against Garon Sism. That's a weird looking foul.
Exactly. I thought he was fouled. I thought the Mississippi State Valley Devils fouled him, but apparently it was the other way around. And just, you know, we talk just during the breaks, the Bulldogs still seem to have this game locked. And for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out just what can the Devils do to try to gain closer? Because they can go on, they can have 2 threes, and the game will be by 3-4 points. But all of a sudden, the Bulldogs will come back with a little run of their own, and then that will further pretty much make the lead harder for the Mississippi State Valleys to try to catch up to.
So, Josh, if you're A&M, in what ways would you hold off Mississippi Valley State? Where do you go to first?
I mean, I'll stay with the same game plan and, fight towards the end of the game because, I mean, they're doing a great job with the game plan they're doing right now. So, only thing I can say they need to do is keep their composure and fight and hold this lead to the end.
Definitely. I mean, whatever brought you to the dance, you have to keep playing that. You have to keep using that. And, I mean, we know these Bulldogs have a lot in their artillery. And we know that during crunch time, they can execute.
As Andre Kennedy was supposed to.
The past games we have seen, they have been performing great, especially the last 5 minutes in the the second half, which is the most important time of the game, to step up or to just shy away.
Mid-range is good for Jordan Evans, and it's now 53-47. Valley State down by 6.
And, to point out back to that conversation with Coach Richards, you, Reggie, you brought up how, they play better home than they do away. And, we thought they played great tonight, and she thought they didn't execute as much as they should have, but it was a great high-scoring game. And, I mean, beating the Mississippi State Valley Devilettes by 8 points, that should be a good win, but that shows you that, no, there still needs to be work. And that's why I like inner coach, and that's why I see in Dylan Howard as well. You get the win, but sometimes a win can be either ugly or pretty. And as a coach, you have to always just keep on going to execute, and to strategize plays, and really not beat them by 2 or 3 points, not beat them by a game winner. Blow them out when you have a chance.
Andre Kennedy with the and 1.
55-47. Kennedy at the free throw line. Andre Kennedy, in our opinions as a school, should be in the running for SWAC Player of the Year this year. One of the most dangerous players in the entire conference as we speak. And that free throw was no good, so it's still 55-47. Crossover drive, passes it back out. They want to try one more time. Playing a lot of drive and kick basketball. The turnaround floater is good. And that was Dante Scott with the finish.
Exactly. And as we get ready to get to the last 5 minutes of this game, this is when, you cannot make key mistakes. Everything has to be perfect. Very near to at least leave with this win for the Bulldogs.
The 3 for Valley State, no good. Rebounded by Brandon Wright. Now running in transition, the final 5 minutes and 14 seconds of the game. This is where teams make or break. You find out who's really who are the pretenders, who are the contenders. Kennedy posting up now.
I think we see a contender right there in Kennedy and Sism. I mean, this is what the duo of Kennedy and Sism do at the last few minutes of this game. It's a boom shakalaka dunks that pretty much changes the momentum as we see right now.
Trey Todd
for the three.
Money.
And boom, it's like money. And you see, that's what we have talked about, gentlemen. I mean, you have Kennedy or Sism, who usually leads the charge with a ferocious dunk, and that pretty much changes the game and takes the air away from their opponents.
It's already an 11-point lead. But Valley State answers back.
They made it 3, but the momentum just switched into the Bulldogs' favor.
Well, Josh, Jalen, it's an 8-point lead for A&M. Let's see if they can close it out in the final 4.5 minutes.
Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the contest. Final 4 minutes of the game. A&M leads Mississippi Valley State 60-52. Sism pumps over Trey Todd, trying to run the offense.
And before that break, gentlemen, we saw that ferocious dunk from Sism, and then Trey Todd with the three. And, I mean, that's what Sism do, lay down the stretch. I mean, he energizes his team, and he pretty much closes the coffin on all of the opponents when he does that.
Here we go. And the beautiful connection as Dante Scott gets the finish to make it 62-54. So Valley State isn't out of this just yet, but A&M, they still have the 8-point lead, and they still have plenty momentum on their side.
And I totally agree with you, Jalen. I mean, Jerron Silver, man, he played every game with he plays the game with passion, you know, and he's a momentum builder.
Exactly, and you know, the Devils, they can try as much as they can, but there was a momentum switch in there. I mean, physically they're still out there, but mentally, that game, the momentum is gone for the Valley State Devils.
Here we go. Let's see what Valley State will do. The three in response. No good. Rebounded by Brandon Miller. And it's still a 10-point, 64-54 A&M lead in the final 3 minutes.
Right now, if I'm the Bulldogs, I just try to create plays off Sism.
Well, let's see what they'll do. Todd nearly traveled but saved the dribble, and a foul against Mississippi Valley State.
If you watch Jerron Silver, have y'all noticed the duo of Jerron Silver and Andre Kennedy? Like, the chemistry they have is amazing. Like, they know when to play, when each other gonna be at a certain spot just for the bucket.
Oh, definitely. They know pretty much how to start the fire and try to make everybody evacuate the building. I mean, Sism and Kennedy, especially in the last minutes down the stretch of any game, they pretty much change the momentum, and they have their opponents right where they want them, and it's a closeout. But Sism, especially his second half game, is tremendous. Andre Kennedy's game is tremendous, but those two are magnets. And the other players are metal, and whatever comes close to them, they're going to get better as well, too. I mean, Trey Todd, easy three. Jalen Reeder, it all falls in perfectly. And that's what you want from your team, to let it fall perfectly in the second half.
Kennedy will miss free throw number 2, but still it's an 11-point lead. What I really like about this A&M team, that's what you said, they really feed off of each other. And it's all about that momentum that you first build. Once you become really consistent on offense and know what you want to do, you attack what you want to see, you exploit what the weaknesses are, and in turn, you have this 11-point lead here to close out this game against Valley State.
Definitely. And just last year, looking at it, I mean, only 3 wins last year. The Bulldogs, they always played hard and they played to win, but you can see there was something lost there, and it was pretty much just a laughingstock at us basketball-wise for the men. And now, 1 year later, look at us now, about to get to our 5th win that we haven't gotten in a couple of seasons, thanks to Dylan Howard and just his staff and the coaching. And we see the Bulldogs now are changing up, and for the next seasons to come, they're going to be a threat, if not already, at Elmore Gymnasium, but also on the road.
And A&M will be back home, however, on Monday evening. We have a doubleheader with Arkansas Pine Bluff. We will give you that broadcast on Monday evening. And they'll be going on the road for the next 3 games.
Yo.
Football too. You want to talk about the rebuild? I mean, football, they have a really great turnaround going on. Coach Maynard turning around A&M's football program. The players love him. I like the way he coaches. Akil Glass, he'll be back, so I'm really excited about that at quarterback. The baseball coach, head coach Manny Lara, feels good about his squad, his young team, and his pitching staff that he has ahead of him. So it's going to be really exciting. And, of course, women's volleyball going 23-13 and 17-1 in the conference this past season. You're seeing a real big transition in A&M athletics for the future. Miller with the basketball, Sism with the screen.
And, you know, when you just talk to every coach from A&M, when they win by 2 or 3 points, when they win so close, nobody's ever satisfied. It's never a, yay, we won. It's a, we won, but we made mistakes that we need to work on. And it's always a working prior. It's always practice, practice, practice. You know, you have to, you can't always, you have to just perfect that craft, and you have to just keep working on it until you get the right recipe in order to do well.
And I totally agree, Jalen. I mean, like I said earlier, like when you win games, there's still a mistake, just like you said. You have to plug a hole in those mistakes just from this game, because that could be a bad spot. You could be losing in, so you have to correct that for the next game.
And that huge putback by Garan Sism makes an 11-point lead. Fellas, this rebuild is huge for A&M athletics. And this is going to be another big win for A&M basketball. 1 minute to go in the game, 69-58.
Yo.
A&M leading by 11. Final minute of play. Here we go. Let's get another closeout win, fellas. Driving, and the pass is good. The shot's good for Emmanuel E.J. It's 69-60, but we have a foul on the court.
Listen, guys, like what I said, 3 minutes into the game when Sism just did that ferocious dunking and that followed by Trey Todd 3, the game was over. The game was over. Valley State left mentally. They were still there physically. They were still playing, but the game was gone. The momentum was just kaput. And the Bulldogs pretty much had the game at their hands. And just when looking at these Bulldogs, and for the past few seasons, they have not had the best record, and they have had extremely tough losses, but they have learned to get over that. And Dylan Howard has pretty much disciplined his team to saying that, listen, we're going to lose, but don't be afraid to lose. Let losing help you into being a better player and a better team.
Losing is what helps build champions.
Exactly.
Losing is what helps build champions. And it's a 71-63 game, so Valley State will not go away just yet after that huge 3, and it's another foul on the court. They're trying to do what they can to slow down this game. They bring the lead from 11 to 8.
And right now it seems like the Devils are trying to put Bulldogs on the free throw line, but the Bulldogs do tremendously well on the free throw line. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I mean, right now they're shooting 80% from the free throw line right now.
And they typically outshoot their opponents from the free throw line. It's about a 7% difference or 8% difference from their free throw percentage and what their opponents get from the free throw line. So if you think about it, it's really good that they take that and use it to their advantage. As the second free throw was good for Trey Tide, and it's now a 72-63 game. A&M leads by 9. The layup nearly blocked from behind. And the ball goes out of bounds.
But you know,
go ahead, Josh.
You know, following Trey Todd and Jalen Reed is not a good idea, because they're great free throw shooters. So it's going to be tough for them to try to shorten this lead.
And we have another timeout on the court for you, ladies and gentlemen. 72-63. 43 seconds to go in the contest.
Yo.
Here we go. 43 seconds left in the game. Let's see what A&M will do to close it out. They will inbound it, taking care of the basketball, and it's another foul. And that will send A&M back to the free throw line. Valley State doing everything in their power to slow down this game.
And I mean, fellas, we can't say it enough. We have to, I mean, just compliment the Bulldogs of how they played today, and just, you know, just looking back from last season to now, their 5th win is just incredible, just how forward they are moving as a unit.
I mean, yeah, and I totally agree, Jalen. I mean, you can tell the change in this team and how they walk with their head held high. Like, the confidence you see in this team is amazing.
You know, I love when they do win. It's not jump for joy. It's we got the job done today, guys. Now let's get ready for the next game. It's not a celebration. I mean, at home it is for the fans, but when they win, it's not, yes, we won, we are the best. It's, okay, we won. Now we need to focus on Monday against Arkansas and Pine Bluff. Okay, now we need to focus on Southern. Now we need to focus on Grambling. We need to focus and keep getting better at beating the teams in our conference.
74-63, and I mean A&M as a unit, as a cohesive unit, they really play well together. And I think they really needed this trip back home to just reevaluate themselves and see what they need to do right and what they can already improve on that they're doing well at already. It doesn't matter. Like, these coaches, they know it doesn't matter really what the score is when you win. We're going to look at everything that we did wrong and still try and execute on what we did wrong. It doesn't matter if we win by 20 or by 2. The goal, simply put, is to improve game by game no matter what.
Exactly. You know, some people will question that, will say, well, we won by 20, so they did nothing wrong. But a team can look at key mistakes and take advantage of that the next game.
Don't talk to Bill Belichick.
Exactly.
As Jalen Reeder goes to the free throw line, and it's 77-63 with the and one, so the bucket will count. I mean, at this point, A&M is just kind of not so much adding salt to the wound, but they're just trying to play the clock out just like Valley State. As the and one chance will go through entirely, the three-point play will work. 78-63.
And to use just a last call reference, I mean, it's cruise control now. It's just cruise control. They have pretty much kept the lead. They were only down. I mean, Mississippi Valley State's biggest lead was just 2 points. And A&M has the biggest lead, 15 points, and it was 13 beforehand. The Bulldogs played great, tremendous basketball.
You're right about that. Dylan Howard gets another win to his added win total, 78-63. Bulldogs defeats the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. The clean sweep is in full effect, people, and that was another great victory.
It's the second time consecutive at home that the Lady Bulldogs won, and now the men Bulldogs won. I mean, it just shows that this team, both basketball teams, are playing great.
And you're certainly right, Jalen. I mean, that his coaching staff is leading this team to victory each night, man. I mean, it's crazy. They started off hot from the three-point line, and you know they were playing well on the defensive side.
And you know what I really enjoyed is the fact that we're seeing a transformation in progress from top to bottom. You're seeing a massive transformation in our athletics program and department. And Coach Dylan Howard is one of the new coaches that's spearheading this change. And I think the A&M faithful can agree. He is a great head coach, and he's doing everything in his power to turn this program around. And really quickly, we have head coach Dylan Howard with us. We're glad to have the man right here, head coach Howard. How you doing this evening, sir?
Well, doing better now.
Doing better now.
Coach Howard, I mean, 5 wins, just most wins, great wins in just the last previous seasons when we was 3 and decline, and just how do you manage to just keep this team on rhythm and on path to gaining more wins?
Well, one of the things, let me get that a little closer. One of the things, we're a veteran team, and I keep reminding them that. I mean, we've got 2 seniors now. AJ went down with an injury, but we've got a lot of juniors, and and 2 of them are redshirt juniors, so really they're seniors. So we have a veteran team. We have a great point guard in Brandon Miller who runs the show. It's hard for me to take Brandon Miller out of the game and give him a rest because he does such a good job with assist-to-turnover ratio. So, and they've battled. You know, the non-conference season was tough, but that's why we play a tough non-conference season to get ready for SWAC.
I mean, you played tough teams like you played Tulane at one point in time, and they were tough, and you upset them in New Jersey, and that was a big win there to kickstart this journey into the SWAC. So I got to ask you, how do you feel going into the SWAC knowing that lower-seeded teams have beaten higher-seeded teams, and you have a chance to be that dark horse team to come out this conference?
Well, that's what we're hoping for. You know, that's what we keep preaching. Now we're on the second leg of the SWAC because we're going to see all the teams again. And, you know, we just preach to them that consistency. That's what we're looking for, night in and night out. Every day we got to come in and work hard and practice and then have the carryover for the game.
Okay, now I'm going to have my last question. So we see you on the side, and we see you just automatic, energetic, no jacket, sweating, and I like that. And the team, they play around that with so much emotion. I mean, where do you get that from? And just the determination and just always not sitting down, but just having that energy to solidify this team.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if y'all know this, but I played at UAB. And that's what Coach Bartow taught me as far as a player. So I knew I had to bring energy as a player. So once I became a coach, I wanted to keep that same energy. And I want to pass that down to my players so they know day in and day out, practice, whatever we're doing, I'm going to compete, and I want them to compete. So they've got to feed off the head coach.
Oh, yeah, and it's a lot of energy to feed off of.
I'm sorry, Coach, one more question.
Okay.
So I got to ask you, how many suits do you go through in a week?
Well, let's just say I'll be taking this one to the cleaners on Monday. And then after Monday, I'll take that one to the cleaners on Tuesday. So I go through quite a few suits.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck for the rest of the season, sir.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.